how are you today? We are talking about top 10 action Hollywood upcoming movies. The first one is Wrath of Man. It is remake of film Cash Truck which is released in 2004. This movie is directed by Guy Ritchie. This director is also directed blockbuster movies Holmes Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows Sherlock Holmes 3 Aladdin. Storyline of Wrath of Man. The plot follows H, a cold and mysterious character working at a cash truck company responsible for moving hundreds of millions of dollars around Los Angeles each week. The runtime of this movie is 118 minutes. The star cast of this movie is Jason Statham, Post Malone, Scott Eastwood, Josh Hartnett. This movie released March 4, 2021 in Netherlands and this movie released May 7, 2021 in USA. The second movie is Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is an upcoming American action comedy film directed by Patrick Hughes which is also directed The Expendables 3. It is a sequel to the 2017 film The Hitman's Bodyguard and is set to star Ryan Reynolds. This director is also directed blockbuster movies Holmes The Expendables 3 The Hitman's Bodyguard. Star cast of this movie is Ryan Reynolds, Frank Grillo, Salma Hayek. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard was originally scheduled for release in August 2020 but was delayed by the novel coronavirus pandemic. The title was then pushed to August 20, 2021, and then moved up earlier, to June 16, 2021. The third movie is Fast and Furious 9. Fast and Furious 9 is an upcoming American action film directed by Justin Lin, who also co-wrote the screenplay with Daniel Casey. It is the sequel to The Fate of the Furious, 2017, the 9th main installment, and the 10th full-length film released overall in the Fast and Furious franchise. The star cast of this movie: Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, John Cena. Running time of this movie is 145 minutes. F9 was originally scheduled for worldwide release in April 2019, but was delayed several times, first due to the releases of Hobbs and Shaw, 2019, and No Time to Die, 2021, and then the COVID-19 pandemic. It is now officially scheduled to world premiere in South Korea and Taiwan on May 19, 2021, and is set to be released in the United States on June 25, 2021. The fourth movie is Those Who Wish Me Dead. Storyline of this movie. A teenage murder witness finds himself pursued by twin assassins in the Montana wilderness with a survival expert tasked with protecting him and a forest fire threatening to consume them all. This movie is directed by Taylor Sheridan. Star cast of this movie is Angelina Jolie, Nicholas Hoult, Finn Little. Runtime of this movie is 1 hour 40 minutes. Those Who Wish Me Dead is scheduled to be released in the United States on May 14, 2021. By Warner Bros. Pictures under the New Line Cinema banner, both in theaters and on HBO Max. The fifth movie is The Suicide Squad. Storyline of this movie. Supervillains Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and a collection of nutty cons at Belle Reve prison join the super-secret, super-shady Task Force X as they are dropped off at the remote, enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. This movie is directed by James Gunn, who has also directed many blockbuster movies: Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Avengers, Infinity War, Avengers, Endgame. Star cast of this movie is Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena. The Suicide Squad is scheduled to be released theatrically and on the streaming platform HBO Max in the United States on August 6, 2021. The sixth movie is Black Widow. This film is about Natasha Romanoff in her quests between the films Civil War and Infinity War. Storyline of this movie is: at birth, the Black Widow, aka Natasha Romanova, is given to the KGB, which grooms her to become its ultimate operative. When the USSR breaks up, the government tries to kill her as the action moves to present-day New York, where she is a freelance operative. This movie is directed by Kate Shortland. Star cast of this movie is Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour. Budget of this movie is $200 million plus. Initial release of this movie: Hong Kong, Ireland, Israel is April 24, 2020. Black Widow is scheduled to be released in the United States on July 9, 2021, simultaneously in theaters and through Disney Plus with Premier Access. It will be the first film in Phase 4 of the MCU, and was delayed 3 times from an original May 2020 release date due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 7th movie is Free Guy. Storyline of this movie is: a bank teller discovers that he's actually an NPC inside a brutal, open-world video game. This movie is directed by Sean Levy. Star cast of this movie is Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Taika Waititi. This is action, comedy, and sci-fi movie. Free Guy is scheduled to be theatrically released in United States on August 13, 2021 by 20th Century Studios. Its release had been pushed back 3 times from a July 2020 release date due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 8th movie is The King's Man. Storyline: in the early years of the 20th century, the Kingsman Agency is formed to stand against a cabal plotting a war to wipe out millions. This is action-adventure comedy crime thriller movie. This movie is directed by Matthew Vaughn, who has also directed many blockbuster movies: Fantastic Four, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, and Bloodshot, which is released in 2019. Star cast of this movie is Ralph Fiennes, Harris Dickinson, Gemma Arterton. This is action and comedy movie. The runtime of this movie is 2 hours 11 minutes. The King's Man is scheduled to be released on December 22, 2021, by 20th Century Studios, delayed several times from an original November 2019 release date, partially due to the COVID-19 pandemic.